StreamYard is a sponsor. They have been a sponsor, not necessarily of this unboxing, but for MakerDeck and Locker Gnome projects in general. So we're very grateful that they saw what we were doing with it and said, yeah, this is great. Why don't you be a partner? And we were like, okay. I haven't gotten into resin. It's not something that I'm inclined to do. Personally, I'm interested, and I do want to do it, but I don't have the space, and I don't have ventilation for it. So I didn't want to pass up the opportunity. And I knew that Krusty had experience specifically with resin. I said, hey, what about an opportunity to review an Elegoo product? And I do believe this is the Elegoo product you wanted to look at most.
Well, they have the Mars 3, not the non-Pro, but this is the Pro model. I'm going to stare at that screen where I have the specs pulled up for people. It uses your standard Qi 2 box software, which would also be compatible with Lychee and other, or lychee, or however you name that fruit. It is a monochrome 4K LCD, 6.6 inch, powerful COB light source, large build volume relative to the screen size. They do have two larger printers, the Saturn, which is what I was hoping that we would get in the Saturn 2, but possibly next time. And you know, it's just their latest and greatest. I mean, the build volume is, for us Americans, is 5.647 inches by 3.52379 inches by 6.8 high. Or in more reasonable measurements, 14.343 centimeters by 8.96 centimeters by 17.5 centimeters. That is a mouthful.
That's math.
It's going on Amazon right now. They have it on sale for about $285 and some change. Elegoo sells it direct for $299. And if you poke around on Amazon, they also have some bundles where you can get it with the wash and cure station.
All right, so let's dive in.
Yeah. So they taped a bag over one end here, and there's something at the end. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to assume it's resin.
It's a good assumption. It could be a big bag of candy. Isn't that a thing?
You know, as hungry as I am right now, that wouldn't be unappreciated. If it is resin, it's a small bottle. So let's see what this guy is. Yeah, it's resin. So it's just a small bottle.
But you could use any resin in there, assumedly.
Yeah, you can use any 405 nanometer resin. For review purposes, let me cut this off. It's going to be loud. Hang on.
Okay. It wasn't that loud.
Well, sorry, it's talking over myself loud. For the review purposes, I'm going to start off using what they gave us. And anytime I review a printer or even get one myself, I like to use what the manufacturer includes. I will go through and print all of the included files that they give you. Because in a perfect world, in a just and fair and you know, all that good stuff kind of world, what they give you is going to work out of the box, right? So that's going to give you a baseline. So as you start experimenting with other resins, different brands, different colors, different types, you always have a baseline to go back to. That's why, remember when you built your Mini, I kept saying, you know, print one of the prints from the model with each filament and set it aside, keep it, because you always have that baseline to go back and look at.
I did not stick to that.
My goal when I review it is I want to try to get as close to the consumer experience as I can. I mean, I've been, you know, 3D printing for a decade. You know, so I'm fairly heavily involved in it. And my experience level and my troubleshooting ability is going to be instinctively above the consumer norm, right? So when I do a review, I try to approach it from the aspect of somebody that just went on Amazon, saw this printer, doesn't know anything about it, and says, hey, that's a good one.
And you're going to be, I guess, casting with this on MakerDeck.
We're into the box now. We have foam and foam.
Is it a smart foam?
It does come with a paper user manual, which I like, printed paper manual, and it's not a 3-point font either. I feel discriminated against by the people that use that little tiny 3-point font, you know, on all the instruction manuals.
The older you get.
Yep. Comes with some spare FEP sheets. It looks like there's 2 of them in there. Do not throw away. They even warn you. It's got the printer and power line. So I'm guessing that is the power cord. That is, this one says it's a US plug, and they have all the different regions that you can get them for. Trying to take the smaller stuff out of the box here, which you can't necessarily see on that angle.
Quite all right.
I'm gonna move it up. It comes with a little toolkit here, which I think this is their new little air purifier that they're starting to include in printers. I don't know much about it, and I don't know if it's a gimmick or how well it works, but
right.
Looks like it plugs into a USB port. There's a USB in the bottom here. So, I don't know. I know a few people at the office that could probably use one of these.
Nice. Well, I mean, it makes sense because you do need some kind of filter, so to speak.
You can, yes. So
ventilation.
Yeah, I'll come back to the toxicity of resin because that's a highly speculative and debatable thing. So let's get through this and then we can talk about that more if you like. It does come with a standard power brick and little toolkit with a couple of extra screws, silicone spatula.
From Spatula City, they just got it right in there.
Right. Some rubber gloves. These look to be latex, not neoprene. So if you have allergies, be careful. Another set of flush cutters to add to my collection. A couple of carbon filter masks.
Right.
And again, we'll go back to the toxicity of resin. A scraper. Now these scrapers that come with these printers are sharpened. Can't really see that there, but the tip is sharpened. So you don't want to be using this on the bed of your FDM. And these are generic paint filters like you'd buy at Home Depot. Little screen at the bottom, paper filter, it's used once, throw away. This is for when you need to drain it back into a bottle. So all in all, not pretty much everything that you need aside from the resin, which I assume doesn't normally come with it. They threw the resin in because it's a review unit. Again, unless maybe you get a bundle. And we've got the printer here.
Boy, that's, I mean, I don't know what size I expected, but that seems manageable.
It's not that big, but keep in mind it can't print that big either.
Right.
Power connector on the back. Power button. It's a good chunk of button.
Can't miss that.
Concerns me. That's just your on-off. It's a smiley face with one eye. USB connector for plugging in your USB stick and a touchscreen. There's your hoodie. Which comes in a plastic bag and then it's plastic wrapped again. Feels like Christmas.
Well, kind of. Brand new product.
Yep.
There's your ASMR for the night.
Okay. Inside here, inside the printer unit itself, let's see what we got. This should be the Z-axis. So, I mean, it's very well protected in the foam. First, this is your build plate, which is also wrapped in plastic.
I'm sure they've gone out of their way to protect everything, especially for shipping.
Oh, yeah, they do. Now, one thing that they do here, if you can see that, is their bed leveling. This is almost like a swivel joint for like a speaker mount. So there are 2 screws that you loosen up here, and then it's just a ball joint to get it level. Tighten 2 screws up, and you're good to go. We'll set that aside.
I can't imagine it taking too long to get off to the races with one of these.
It's the harder part is learning how to use it.
Right, yeah. I'd imagine that's the steeper learning curve.
Okay. So here we've got this with the Z-axis all the way down. I'm going to... It's very well lubricated, apparently. Yeah, I mean, I guess in theory I could also power it up and bring this up. A lot of them, you can just pull it up, but this is too tight to do that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like you may have to. Are you sure you don't have to turn it on before it goes?
Well, you can do it this way. It's a very fine threaded rod, so it's a lot of turns.
Right.
I'm not trying to bring it up all the way, just enough to be able to pull off the bed. So this is your vat. It's what I wanted to look at. Vat is attached by these 2 thumb screws here. That lifts off. There's a protector on the LCD here with a nice bubble. Step 1, please peel off this before printing.
I'm glad they put the instructions actually on it, right?
Well, yes,
Helping
because
you through it.
A lot of manufacturers have a film on there that it's a polarizing film. I'm sorry, I keep looking at you here rather than the camera over there.
All
but
good.
Just an awkward position.
I said just pretend I'm the printer. Talk to me. I am the printer.
Yep. No, it's just not my normal position here. Trying to do this with someone. But anyway, a lot of the LCD screens have a polarizing filter on it. In fact, that's how I ruined the Saturn that I sent pink. I had spilled resin on the polarizing filter thinking it was a plastic screen protector like that. And so I peeled it off and that ruined the screen, but in reality it's a polarizing filter. It needed to be there.
I wonder if it's polarizing because it just takes such an extreme position.
It's polarizing to keep the lights focused. Oh, you're making another joke.
That was not no, that was that one was intentional.
Okay. So there's our second one off the vat. So it is a metal vat, which I like.
I know you said we wanted to loop back with this, but
yeah.
Cheese Bacon's asking, curious about the thoughts on the resin itself, how caustic it is or isn't. It's the only thing that's kept him away from buying an SLA.
Okay. I'm going to qualify this with, this is just my opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. Resin is hazardous enough that it should have an MSDS. And I personally will not buy resin from a manufacturer that does not have an MSDS available, or MSDS, I forget the SDS, MSDS or SDS available for the Reddick, their resin. So it is toxic. It's not caustic, but it is toxic. You don't want to be drinking it. You don't want to be getting it on your skin because it does absorb very easily. And if you walk out into the sunlight after being in your garage with it on your skin, you're going to get some nice blisters.
Wow.
I have a video up on TikTok where I poured some old resin into a glass bottle, set it out in the sun, and within 5 minutes, it just went boom and exploded the glass everywhere.
Whoa.
So it does get very hot when it's curing.